Hi, welcome back. Today I have another true crime plan with me. And if you're looking at the title, like, Domi, what the heck is a planner case file? Basically, I just wanted there to be some kind of distinction in the title so you can kind of know what you're getting yourselves into before clicking on the video. So if you see a planning with murder title, you'll know that's obviously going to be a murder. And if you want something less murdery but still true crime, planner case files will be like scams, missing persons cases, cults, just really anything and everything else in the true crime realm that's not actual murder. So, with that said, this is the story of the embezzlement scam that rocked a New York school district to its core. And it was honestly just so rude and very, very bold. So in 2004, serving as a Roslyn High School student journalist, senior Rebecca Rombaum received the tip of a lifetime. She learned of a beloved school official who was quietly let go several years prior. Through her own investigation of interviews, attending school board meetings, and combing through endless files and documents, she pieced together that Assistant Superintendent Pam Gluckin had been fired by the school board after they discovered she'd embezzled $250,000 from the district. When Rombaum broke the story in the school's Hilltop Beacon newspaper, she had absolutely no idea that it would ultimately lead to an investigation that would crack the largest public school embezzlement scam in U.S. history wide open. So let's set the scene here. Roslyn High School, located on Long Island, was one of the best public schools in the entire country, coming in at a hot number 6 on the top 10 list. A diploma from Roslyn was essentially considered a one-way ticket to the Ivies. This was largely due to Superintendent Frank Tassone's obsessive and tenacious efforts to mold and shape Roslyn into the best of the best. But that number 6 wasn't good enough for him. He wanted that number 1 spot. He was incredibly charming and charismatic. He made it a point to know every single student's name and to welcome every single new student. He ate lunch with the students. Hell, he even had a book club with the parents. He was a very dedicated and devoted educator, and his students built an unflinching rapport with him. Basically, to know Frank Tassone was to love him. And when Pam Gluckin and her family got a little too bold with their embezzling, as in an $83,000 Home Depot charge, it was Frank who stood in front of the school board pleading for them to take mercy on her. As Pam tearfully confessed, Frank laid out his case. They had nothing to gain from pressing charges or going public with the story, but they did have everything to lose. The school would lose its standing and everything it had worked so hard to achieve. And with college acceptance letters rolling in, those optics would have just been detrimental. He convinced the school board to allow Pam to quietly resign and pay the money back. What they didn't know was that Frank wasn't protecting Pam or the school. He was protecting himself. That's right, the investigation sparked by Rombaum's 2004 expose on Pam Gluckin would soon reveal that Frank Tassone, the affable and beloved and adored man who had devoted his entire career in life to Roslyn High School, was scamming the absolute shit out of it. He was the beating heart of the scheme. So the two main components of the scheme were using school district credit cards for personal use and also creating fake businesses. So there was a fake set of books. So on paper, everything looked good, everything looked legitimate. But in actuality, they would draw up fake contracts and receipts from their fake businesses and just embezzle the money that the school district had budgeted for all of this contract work and stuff. And they embezzled it directly into their personal bank accounts. So, like, for example, if the pipes needed to be fixed, they would contract that work out through their fake businesses and just pocket however much it costs to fix pipes. And then no one ever questioned why they still had shitty pipes. And also, Frank's life partner and Pam's son and niece were also involved in the embezzling. So it was like a whole family affair. And they were very bold and brazen with their spending. They lived in beautiful homes, drove luxury cars, went on expensive vacations, wore tailored designer clothing, and no one ever batted an eye. Anything that they could spend this money on, they did. Some of Frank's highlights include a Park Avenue luxury apartment, a Mercedes, plastic surgery, international trips, gambling trips to Vegas, as well as $37,000 in dry cleaning, $5,200 in Christmas cards, $5,000 for a single brunch, $46,000 for jewelry, $56,000 for weight loss treatment, $7,500 for tailoring services, and $21,000 for home decor. And Pam's highlight reel includes mortgages on all 3 of her luxury homes, a full home renovation on her main home, a Jag, jet skis, $14,000 for pet supplies, $82,000 in college tuition for one of her kids, $19,000 for original art, $4,000 for manis and petties. The list is just truly endless, and they each had over 20 credit cards in the school district's name and withdrew over $1 million in cold hard cash from ATMs with these credit cards over the years. So who knows what that money was spent on. Pam and Frank were so loved and so charming that no one ever questioned how they led such extravagant and lavish lifestyles, especially when the school wasn't even getting very basic but needed repairs. But when all was said and done, the pair, along with a handful of other top school district officials, had embezzled $11.2 million. Personally, Pam had embezzled $4.3 million and Frank $2.2 million. In 2006, Frank Tassone was sentenced to 4 to 12 years for grand larceny. He was released in 2010 for good behavior and was on probation until 2018. Pam Gluckin was sentenced to 3 to 9 years for grand larceny and was released on parole in 2011. Now, the gag of it all, though, is that a New York state pension law loophole entitles them to still receive their pensions for the rest of their lives. So good old Frank still receives about $174,000 a year, and Pam received about $55,000 per year until her death in 2017. So that's the story of the Roslyn embezzlement scandal. I found out about it from a 2019 HBO movie called Bad Education, starring Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney. I liked it quite well. If you've seen I, Tonya, it kind of has the same tone. I'll put the trailer in the description box for anyone who may be interested, but It did win the Emmy for Outstanding Television Movie, so I definitely do recommend it, especially if you like Hugh Jackman. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and hanging out today, and I hope I see you in the next one. Later.